am Scaffy. I'm here in the studio with Kalani, who's covering for Lawson.
Great to be here.
There's another guy here called Scaffy that is just covering for Shell today. I was telling Justin, I am sweating here. Like, it's like so hard to move all these computers, keyboards, buttons here. It's driving me crazy, but we're doing this for a good cause. Justin Lawman, good morning to you. It's great to have you with us.
It's good to know you're sweating, mate, on a cold morning.
That's right.
You got to work hard to keep warm.
That's right. No, I should do this more often. I can lose some weight here. I think that I'm a little bit above my kilos here. Justin, before I ask you what's going on in the world, have you heard about a book called Engage, Faith That Matters by Nathan Brown?
I have not.
Well, we're giving it away today, this morning, and it's basically how to engage with community, with your work, with your family as a Christian. It's basically trying to bridge the gap between a lot of people, they're studying the Bible and they're asking this question, okay, how do I apply this to my life? And this book has a lot of different chapters that is talking about exactly how to engage with these different areas of life, but as a Christian. Do you think that this sounds like a good read at all?
Well, I haven't read the book, so I can't comment on the book.
I mean, the topic. That's
engaging is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Okay.
And in fact, if you don't share your faith, you lose your faith. I think it's it's one of the neglected disciplines. We all talk about prayer and Bible study, having worship, but having witness, being able to share what comes into your life will maintain your faith as strong as anything else.
Absolutely. Justin, I couldn't say it any better than you did. So if you'd like to get that book, you, radio friend, just text us with #engage, and we're going to send that book to you free of charge today. The number to text is 0491-064-669. Justin, what is going on? I woke up this morning and my social media were on fire. People were talking about Ukraine and Russia. What's going on up there?
Well, Scappy sent me a text message that woke me up this morning.
Did I? Oops, sorry about that.
It's been a busy weekend.
Yeah.
It's been a busy weekend. But, and I had some stuff from last night, but then I see this attack in Russia. And I think this is a game change. They've been able to, the Ukrainians for over 12 months have been planning this attack secretly. They have built in shipping containers on the backs of trucks this little compartment, only, 20 centimeters deep type thing, maybe a little bit more, that you can't see. It's a secret sort of cavity. And then one of the attacks is 4,000 kilometers into Russia from Ukraine. They park the truck, open the roof of the shipping container, and bring out what they're calling FPV drones. Now, you guys are more technical than me. You can run radio shows. I had to look up what an FPV drone is.
And what is it?
It's a first-person view.
Wow.
So if you have a model aircraft, you have to stand on the ground and you watch it flying around. These ones, you look through a screen and watch where these things are going.
Yes.
So they're very much directed. And the footage is all over the internet from these drones that are flying into these multi-million-dollar long-range bombers in Russia. I think a quarter of Russia's bombers were destroyed.
What? 1/4?
A quarter of their fleet.
Imagine the cost of replacement of all of these aircraft. It's in the billions.
That's right. And these drones are literally, they're under $1,000. They put a grenade or whatever they put on the drone and make it explosive, and they've been able to get right into the heart of Russia and embarrass Putin terribly right before the peace talks that are supposed to happen in Turkey. Basically, hours later, it's probably supposed to happen about now. this is really.
Do you think that this is going to
This is
help?
not going to help the peace process.
This is what I was going to ask, because Zelensky in his X account, he says, "Look, we want to make sure that we're doing this so that will make Russia stop. That will make them think that this war is just too difficult, it's too dangerous, it's too expensive, and that's going to motivate Putin to stop the war." But I don't know. I sometimes think that this is actually going to cause the opposite effect.
This is Russia. This is the Ruskies, the rowers, the descendants of Vikings. Man, they don't step back from a fight. This will only harden them. And you've got, they've had an incident with Poland with the ships this week as well. This is not going to help the peace process at all. This is going to drive it deeper and harder. And, mate, I don't know. I just don't see. I think a big thing happened when they had their May Day celebrations, and the leader of China went and sat on the stage with Putin in Russia, Xi Jinping.
But why is that relevant, you reckon? Is that something
I
unique?
think that was a point, that there's a pivot point there, that the peace talks and everything, nothing has worked since then. And to me, and this is Justin's view, this is not anyone else's view, this is not Faith FM's view, this is just me. I think Russia and China are working closely together. There's this threat. I read in the Australian, I've been in airports this weekend, I read in the Australian how America has said that an invasion of Taiwan is imminent.
Wow.
And the leader, who's this guy that's the leader of the American military now? I've forgotten his name.
Pete Hegseth?
Hegseth, yep. He said that there'll be devastating consequences for China if this happens.
Ooh.
He's sending a message here, and I think China wants the Ukraine war to continue. If they're going to try and do something else militarily to have America and the world stretched into other places, would suit them. And I might be a bit dramatic there, but it just seems to me there's a bigger play on here. And at the same time, the globalist side in Europe and Zelensky, they don't want this war to stop. Trump is really proving his words. He can't fulfill what he says. He has said that he'd stop this war.
In 24 hours.
He's been unable to stop it.
Yeah.
In fact, it's getting worse.
Actually, I don't know if you've seen it. To me, it got me as a surprise. I think it was last week, Justin. Donald Trump basically posted a tweet where he said that Vladimir Putin went crazy. I don't understand him. Why doesn't he doesn't seem to be wanting to stop the war? And of course, he was blaming Joe Biden for starting the war and everything. But it to me, it was quite a remarkable shift in Donald Trump's own discourse with Putin. He was trying to be quite reconciliatory, but he finally said, "You know what? I don't get Vladimir. I think he just went crazy." Have you seen that one?
I think, yeah. That's what I talk about. There's this pivot. It seems to be now even Trump's given up, which is not a good thing. This is really, really bad development. So we need to pray for these situations, because just young people, young men and women in the military are just being killed. Innocent civilians constantly under threat of attack. It's really been quite...
Yeah. Absolutely. Praying that this war will stop, but most importantly, praying that in the midst of this tragedy, that people can find their hope in Jesus and save them. I was just hearing the story. There are some young men that are in Ukraine, and they're not soldiers, they're not combatants, but what they do is that they try to go through the trenches of some, particularly in the Ukrainian trenches. I'm not too sure about the Russian, but basically to give the soldiers Bibles and talk to them about God. And I think, wow, that's that's quite
That's awesome.
a bold ministry, but I think that
awesome.
they understand what's at stake here. It's more than just human lives, even though this is a big thing, but it's from a Christian perspective, it's eternal lives that are on the line. And this is the greatest loss that cannot, loss of life, God can restore it. Loss of eternal life, that's just a one-time event.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard some powerful testimonies of some missionaries who are actually going into the front lines in Ukraine and Russia, and we're seeing God's work being done on the front line in there.
Yeah.
Well, there's been pastors being just press ganged off the street into the battle as well that have never been seen again. Adventist pastors.
Wow. Did they go there recruited by the government, or they're going there voluntarily?
No, they weren't voluntary. One guy, my pastor friend who is Russian, who speaks Ukrainian as well, and his friend went to the shop, never seen again. He sent a message, he's on the front line. He was press ganged into fighting.
Wow.
So they're getting desperate to get soldiers on, particularly the Ukrainian side. I don't know so much in Russia, but this is not looking like a good ending here at the moment.
No, absolutely. So definitely something, praying particularly that those men and women, that the war will stop, and most importantly, that they will find Jesus, in both sides of the Ukrainian and in the Russian. What else has been happening, Justin? Because we couldn't speak last week, so we have a backlog of things happening, I believe.
Mate, it's 2 months. That was a lifetime ago last week. I tell you what, just to lighten the thing a bit, they've taken a photo of Trump's screen.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Of his phone.
What?
Wow.
What did they find?
What's he got a photo of on his phone? What you got to guess here, guys? Help me guess. What does Donald Trump have on his screen of his phone?
Oh, wow.
Biden.
Joe Biden, Biden's picture. Look, I don't know. I would imagine like an American flag, maybe.
No. Guess what he has? A picture
Bible.
of Donald Trump.
Oh,
He has a picture of himself.
Oh no! No. Really? Wow.
And he was receiving a message from Roger Stone.
Who's that guy?
When they took this photo. Roger Stone went to prison. He was one of Trump's political advisors early on. He's written a number of books. Roger Stone, he's like a political advisor to Trump, who, pretty full-on sort of guy. And the FBI arrested him, put him in prison for a little while, but he's out now. And Trump has a picture of himself on his phone, which I thought they're making a big deal about that in certain parts of the media.
Yes.
The South Korea's got elections going on that, by all accounts, China has got quite involved in the politics of South Korea. And of course, the Korean War was fought really between China and the United States. And China seemed to have been able to get a lot of influence in some of the politics of South Korea. Mm. And that side, it looks like it's going to win this election that's going on right now. So, yeah, a lot of bad developments. The article in The Australian about Hegstead said that they really want to move the American forces, realign them out of Europe and out of the Middle East and put them in Asia. So that's, again, giving us a sign.
If that happens, do you think that Australia would be dragged into participating to that conflict? Is that a chance?
We have their the B-52s, their long-range nuclear bombers in Darwin right now. They've moved them from Guam because Guam can be reached by Chinese missiles, that they can't defend Guam. Oh, yeah, we're definitely in the mix. And China has drug us in anyway. They've made it pretty clear that we're an attractive place. So, yeah, these are great developments, guys, but Jesus is coming soon.
Amen.
And so we lift up our heads. We're not scared, terrified. Right. We know how the story ends, but we do know that before it does end, it's going to get a little rough. Yeah. And work on your spiritual life now. Get your faith grown by studying, reading, and sharing it with others. That's how we prepare for everything that's going on.
Justin, wise words, my friend. Thank you so much. It was great to chat with you. We're looking forward to have you again on the show on Monday with more developments from the world scenario.